that would
really not
require-
gonna put a ban on those unless we start having an issue with them.
Sure.
So should we have a couple of fires that spark up because of it, then we may have to revisit it, but at this time, I don't see an issue with people using those in their yard. A lot of people have them built in brick. They're usually surrounded by grass and stuff, and people are usually monitoring them, so unless we really see an issue coming from those, I don't foresee having to limit people using those.
Number 9 on this thing is a usable water supply, like a garden hose. I think it would probably behoove us to put that in the paper or something. If you have one of these little patio burn whatevers, that you make sure your garden hose is there, because I bet you a lot of them don't.
Yeah,
And if they just are made aware that they should need to do that.
yeah.
I don't know how we can do that, but something in the paper, there's a lot of those things being used around here, holy moly.
So we'll probably issue that as part of a no harm. If you had, was there a cost that you decided to do with this?
The last meeting you guys decided no cost.
We may change.
Okay.
One of the things is having me look into ensuring that it complies with the ordinances, and it does, so. I agree with that.
Any other questions?
I talked with Pat about some grammatical errors on the application. I don't know if you changed them or not changed on this.
Oh, no, they are changed. That's the original copy from before.
Okay.
Yeah, those, that one little dash that showed up and stuff, yeah.
City
Those have all been
Union.
corrected, so I'll get, this gets approved, I'll get the corrected copy to the city clerk and them. But yeah, they have been corrected, but
Thanks, Pat.
I believe these are the same copies from the last meeting.
Could easily be issued out of City Hall then, instead of out of your office.
City Hall would be probably their starting point. Well, you can really put them out of either place. They're gonna have to fill it out and get the information to City Hall and then contact us to go and inspect it. So we could actually have the applications available at either location.
I think just for the sake of making sure both entities are involved, having them pick it up here at City Hall and then having them return it to City Hall so that they can then get your signature with that. So
Yeah.
that City Hall knows it's happening and
Yeah, they can initiate it here and then they have to bring it to us to get inspected and signed off on before they can do it and then bring it back to City Hall. And then at that time we can make a copy of it, keep on file.
okay. I'll entertain a motion on this.
So moved.
Motion from Councilman Spear, do I have a second?
Sorry.
Second from Councilman Allworth, all in favor?
Bye.
Any opposed? Item 6, Councilman Beecher, City Fire Chief Stork, discussion for possible action, approval of fireworks display application and permit.
We're the same thing, same application that they had at the last meeting, just, we will put it into effect, so we can use it. And give us a little better idea of, who's doing the fireworks shows, making sure they have their insurance in place, and, like I said, the last people that did that show was really good. They brought us laminated pictures of where they were gonna do everything, where things were set up, so, that type of information is really helpful, and that's kind of.
Motion approved from Councilman Spear, do I have a second?
Jim will second.
Councilman Jim, a second. Any further discussion?
Is there a fee on this one?
No fee on that one either was discussed.
We're still good with that?
Yeah. And it complies with our ordinance.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 3-0. With that, we will move on to item 9, public comment. Please state your name for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, no one has accounted for that 490 linear feet of 16-inch steel pipe, which the golf course will use, and Petra cost down considerably at $220 a foot. I want some answers on that. 190 feet at 220 feet, $220 a foot. What's that, larceny? Grand theft? Mr. Mayor, several businesses have opened that do not meet ADA standards. They fail to purchase building permits as required. They do not meet off-street parking as required. The Planning Commission is selectively enforcing the law under color law. They're basically worthless. They're putting the city at risk with their discrimination, and it needs to stop. I don't know how many times you gotta be told that. You people live here, you see what's going on, you know what the regulations are. Many of them you approved of, and yet you look the other way. You gotta start putting people in there that can be held accountable, and you're not doing that, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, on item 8B4, you were considered the possible approval of a support letter for round 18 for the renovation of McGill Depot and the opening of the track to McGill. That item should have been tabled. No one has addressed the rumors that tens of thousands of dollars have been embezzled from the railroad. I want to know, true or false? Was it federal grant money, room tax money, or gifted money? Councilwoman Beecher and Mr. Allworth have an obligation to disclose. You're talking taxpayers' money. If you can't be accountable, you folks need to resign. You didn't get elected to look the other way. You were elected to be held accountable, and you're not doing your jobs. Mr. Mayor, I've not received an answer in regards to Avenue A. Again, did the city purchase that property, and for how much? Or did the city install a utility on private property? If you did, you got a problem. Mr. Mayor, I requested a copy of the Porter Group report. Oh, I brought that up earlier. I want that copy from the last meeting, please. Mr. Mayor, I'm again requesting a copy of the final approved city personnel manual that was approved at a previous city council meeting. Again, how many times have I got to ask? I don't have to pay for that, Mr. Mayor. It needs to come back. It was brought before the council. That was the final approval, the final that was approved and printed where you could see it clearly, was not presented to the public, and you need to do that. Mr. Mayor, more than a year ago, I gave you documented copies of discrepancies regarding selective enforcement of city codes located throughout the city, as well as discrepancies regarding the utility building of some of my properties. I've never heard back from you. Again, I'm requesting a copy of the date stamp of those items that you have investigated.
Thank
And
you,
the
George.
outfit for each one. I waited long enough. I need some answers,
Thank you,
Mr. Mayor. You know, this 3-minute thing is not going to cut it. We need
George,
some
you can't do
answers.
that.
I want to keep coming back.
You're welcome.
Just that simple. I don't want to keep coming back and saying,
George,
you're not.
Okay, all right, all right. Any other public comment? Hearing and seeing none, we'll call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Meeting adjourned. Thank you. I'm happy to do that.
There you go.
Do we have anything to say?
Yeah.
This has been a Georgetown production. George Chachis reporting.